Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? So, today we're going to be doing our sixth lord in the sixth house video, as in what happens when a planet that's controlling your sixth house is sitting in the sixth house. Well, what is the sixth house? And before we even get started, if you do not know where your sixth lord is placed and what other houses your planetary lords are placed in, for that, check out the right link here, right next to Yash's head, where you can get your free astrological report with my books and with other numerological report options that you can check out. So, sixth house. Sixth house is known as the house of deaths, enemies, obstacles, diseases, small animals, cutesy ones, cute little animals. And it's a house of, your everyday work life, routine. It represents disputes, divorces. It, represents unprivileged people, even represents your uncle. I never mentioned that, but sixth house is also, your maternal uncle, like your mom's sibling. So when this planet that is controlling this house is sitting in its own house, what this shows, and this is for all the planets, they provide, yes, we're friends, Yash, we're friends. He just wants to shake my hands. Yes, you have enough attention of mine. You have enough attention of mine. So, yes, sorry. I lost my train of thought. What was it? Yes. So, when sixth lord is in the sixth house, it goes, same for every other planet. Meaning that this planet that is sitting in its own sign, in its own house at this point, is providing protection of the sixth house. Meaning that these planets are now strong because they are controlling that sixth house. And since they're sitting in their own house, they're not going to destroy it. It's like, this is my house. If I am a malefic planet, I don't care how bad of a planet I am. This is my house. I need my house to be neat and clean, organized, and I will not destroy it unless I'm completely mental, unless I'm living with somebody like Ketu or Rahu. Okay, so same thing here. So all the planets who are here, are providing a routine life to your work life. Meaning your Artha house, sixth house is the Artha house, along with second house and 10th house. That means your routine now is not going towards family, siblings, mother, happiness, vehicles or children. Your routine workspace is becoming routine for the work itself. So you have a routine, like I was telling you guys, how you may have a routine of, doing artistic things, dealing with children on everyday life. But now what the work you're doing as to make a living, that part of work becomes your routine. You must do that same work every day. Otherwise you cannot feel, you cannot feel at ease. And here, because it's providing protection and sixth house represents diseases, such people, especially in the time period like Mahadashas of this planet, if they run through any diseases, they come out of it. Even if they're running through some other planetary time period, yet their sixth house is strong. What this shows is that these people have the fighting ability to cut through every diseases, every illnesses. So if you have a fever, malaria, whatever you have, you have the strength within you that I'm going to come out of it. I am going to, beat this fever, this disease, this illness, cancer, whatever you have, you beat that. So whenever you hear like stories like people who beat cancer, who beat tumors and all of that, look at their sixth house, very strong. I saw 3 people actually last year where they had very terminal illnesses. And when I looked at their sixth house was either the sixth lord was either placed in the sixth house or was aspecting the sixth house, or the eighth lord was strong, meaning their longevity and surgeries and, sudden ups and downs. But here sixth lord is providing protection. Sixth lord, provides protection from enemies, protection from obstacles. So no matter what obstacles is in front of you, whatever planet is ruling the sixth house, through the capability of the planet, you're going to be able to overcome your enemies. So what we'll do, and we'll discuss what each planet is doing, being in the sixth house as their own lord and sitting in their own house. But, like Sixth house, as I said, represents small animals. And what this shows is that your everyday work life can involve working with animals, meaning sixth house is health, diseases, it's animals. So that means you can be a veterinarian. You can be working with animals in a non-profit organization. You might be, what do you call those rescue centers? You might be working in there, and you have this tremendous love for animals. However, the true love for animals is not really seen from the planetary house or sign placement. It really comes from the nakshatra that the planet is sitting in of the sixth house. That really determines if this person going to be really crazy about having animals in their life. Are they okay with animals? Are they indifferent, or they just hate having cats and dogs in their house? So that's where it differentiates. But in this time, because we're dealing with planets and signs and in their own houses, shows that that's where your work can go. So let's discuss each planet in this scenario. So let's say if Sun controls your sixth house and Sun sitting in its own house, that means it's sitting in the sign of Leo in your horoscope. What this shows is that you have great protection from the government. Your father was a very dedicated, hardworking man. Your father was in the service industry. Your father instilled a lot of hard work in you, and he taught you how to fight enemies. He taught you how to deal with debts and diseases. He was a great influence when it comes to the things of the sixth house upon you. And it shows that your father took care of a lot of obstacles in your life. So even though Sun is becoming a functional malefic, the reason why it's not doing as much of a damage is because it's in its own sign. So why should it hurt you? Why should it damage you when the sixth lord is sitting in its own sign, in its own house? Okay, let's say Moon controls your sixth house, okay, and sitting in the sixth house. That means it's in the sign of Cancer. Shows that you're able to defeat your enemies by nourishing them. You're able to defeat your enemies by being very hospitable to them. You have this great emotional attachment to animals. You have this great emotional attachment to non-profit organization, people who need help, people who need healing. So you make great nurses, great doctors, great healers, alternative healers, or regular, pharmaceutical, medical industry healers. You guys are natural healers. You guys provide nourishment to such people. Okay, and here it shows that your mother was in the medical industry perhaps, and was in the service industry, and she was nourishing people. She was nourishing people, and she protected you from diseases. She protected you from enemies. She protected you from all the obstacles that are in your life. Whenever an obstacle comes, you run to your mother or motherly figures to figure out a solution. And same thing with Sun. If Sun is there, then you're running to your father to find a solution to your debts and your problems. Same thing with Mercury. Here Mercury may make you very communicative about the things of the sixth house. It may, it shows you how to deal with and manage your money and debt. So it makes you a very business savvy person. He knows how to, keenly affect your intelligence as to where you're able to relate to all the unprivileged people with your communication skills. And here Mercury becomes very detail oriented, very analytical. He's looking at all the details. He's arguing. He's making an argument for the message that he has. So you become a very great communicator with this position. Let's say if Venus is controlling the sixth house, Venus sitting in the sixth house, shows that through battling enemies, through obstacles and diseases, you find your pleasure. You find happiness through it. You feel that the luxurious life that you need will come from going into war, going into the battlefield and conquering what is yours. It shows that you meet women who are either in the medical industry, or you meet them in a situation where they're in some sort of a problem or hurdle, and you come in as a hero to save them. And these are the kind of women you interact with. These are the situations with the women you run into. But it's very strong. Your woman is a very hardworking, dedicated, person. It cannot be even just wife, it's spouse as well, for both men and women. But the reason why I'm emphasizing wife more, because husband is represented by Jupiter, wife is represented by Venus. Let's say if Mars controls the sixth house, sitting in the sixth house, shows this person cannot be messed with. You mess with this person, they will fight to kill. You mess with this person, they have the great energy and ability to defeat you with their bare hands, to defeat you with any kind of physical action required. They make great athletes, they make great fighters, they make great policemen and soldiers, because policemen and soldiers are people who are fighting for the unprivileged, which is us, the regular citizen, who do not know how to hold up a gun and kill someone. These guys do that. They protect. Okay, so here Mars is protecting you. And you become the protector. You want to become that hero. Here Mars, can deal with things related to being in a medical condition of surgeries. Like great surgeons can be seen with Mars in the 6th house and 8th house. Here Mars, can make you a great hardcore politician as well. Like you know how to go to the deep and darkest places, and extract all the bad material out and show it to the world and say, hey, I took care of all these obstacles for you, now vote for me. So that scenario comes with it. It's similar to the 8th house, but 8th house is a little bit more different. If Jupiter is controlling your 6th house, sitting in the 6th house shows that you're going to gain a lot of money and finance through enemies. Because Jupiter is finance, it's money. You're gaining money through your finances. The more obstacles you run into, the more money you can make with Jupiter being here. It shows your gurus, your teachers, are seen more in the real world than in a university setting. Meaning that you met a guy who showed you how to do great business out there, how to really make the real money. Where somebody who has Jupiter in the 9th house will go to a university and might go find a mentor, teacher in biology, chemistry, philosophy. Here, these people are like, this Jupiter really gets to be these people a lot of money, because they find mentors and gurus who show them how to make money in the real world. Let's say if Saturn controls the 6th house sitting in the 6th house, shows that your everyday work routine, which Saturn also represents, has to do with providing service to handicapped people, service to older, mature people. You love doing routine machinery jobs, and your life is all about work. Work, 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 work. You're like a workaholic machine. Your uncle had a very great influence on showing you how to pay your debts off, how to deal with enemies, how to deal with diseases. Perhaps your grandfather, your old figure, male figure in your family, showed you how to deal with all these things, and you were very connected to them because of this. At the same time, Saturn is protecting you from long-term illnesses. Now Saturn is protecting you from, before he's bringing long-term illnesses in other houses, now he's protecting you from getting any kind of long-term illnesses or chronic illnesses. So Saturn here can become very strong in a way. So that's how 6th house in, this 6th house can, or 6th lord in the 6th house can do. It's pretty simple. They're providing protection. They're providing all the things related to the 6th house through the things that are represented by the planets. Okay. So guys, this was my analysis of 6th lord in the 6th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your 6th lord is placed, for that, check out the links here, including all my books and reports. So I will see you next time. Bye-bye.